Coachable Players Podcast. This podcast is built on the belief that the most successful athletes, employees, and business leaders share a trait: they are coachable. Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode is titled Coachable People Reflect. Here's how. If you listened to this podcast before, you know this show focuses on a simple idea. Being coachable is one of the most important traits you can develop in sports, business, and in life. Today, I want to talk about a simple tool I encourage young athletes, young professionals, elder professionals, everyone in life. I encourage you to use this tool here I'm going to talk about today. It's not complicated, it's not high tech, and it only takes a few minutes after each game or work day or work week. It's something that many elite athletes have used for years. It's journaling for your performance. And I use a simple framework I call the 3-2-1 game journal. Why journaling helps athletes and professionals. Research actually backs this up. Studies from the International Journal of Sports Science show that athletes who track their performance improve focus and can increase overall performance by around 20% after 6 weeks of journaling. Even more interesting, about 1/3 of athletes who journal retain and refine new techniques more effectively. There's also a mental benefit. Athletes who journal report less fear, frustration, and anxiety before and during games. And maybe, most importantly, they actually enjoy playing their sport more. Why? Because journaling helps you process the experience instead of just reacting emotionally to it. Great athletes use journals. Some of the best competitors in the world have done this. Kobe Bryant once said, "I've kept a journal my whole career. I write down what I was thinking before and after a game. It helps me understand who I am as a competitor." And elite trainer Tim Grover, who worked with Michael Jordan, one of his clients, Tim Grover put it this way: "The journal is where you win the battle with yourself. The game is just a test." Think about that. The real competition often happens in your preparation and reflection. Okay, so let's talk about this. The 3-2-1 game journal. After each game or work day or work week, take just a few minutes and write down 3 simple things. 3 things you liked. First, write 3 things you liked about the game. They can be big or small. Maybe you hustled on defense. Maybe you encouraged a teammate. Maybe you stayed positive after a mistake. This matters because sometimes athletes only focus on what went wrong. But remember something important. You're playing a sport you chose because you love it. Recognizing the things you did well keeps the experience positive. And if you go through a tough stretch during a season, those journal entries can remind you why you love the game in the first place. That's the 3. 2, write 2 things you learned. Under this section, write down 2 things that you learned. You should always be learning in life, every day. Ask yourself questions like, what did I learn about myself today? What did I learn about my teammates? What did I learn about my opponents? Maybe you even learned something from a coach, a referee, or even the crowd. And also think about the game day itself. Did you learn something from your game, your pregame preparation? Did you learn something about how you handle post-game emotions? Great athletes are always learning. Lastly, 1 thing that you want to improve. Finally, write down 1 thing that you want to improve. Just 1. Not 5, not 10, just 1. Keep it simple. In life, nothing stays the same. You're either getting better or worse. But focusing on just 1 improvement keeps it manageable and intentional. If you improve just 1% each game, that small progress compounds over time And over the course of a season, that can make a huge difference. Why this matters beyond sports. Even though this journal is designed for younger athletes, the mindset applies everywhere. In sports, you review game film. In life, journaling is your personal game film. It helps you reflect, adjust, and improve. And those habits translate directly into school, work, leadership, and in life. Here's a challenge for athletes. If you're a young athlete listening to this, here's my challenge. For the rest of your season, or before you start a new season, try the 3-2-1 game journal after every game. 3 things you liked, 2 things you learned, 1 thing to improve. It takes less than 5 minutes, but it might change the way you think about your performance. In closing, if you're interested, I sometimes send pre-game motivational texts or post-game reminders to help athletes stay consistent with their journal entries. If you'd like to receive those, feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to help you stay accountable. Thanks for listening. And remember, the best athletes and the most successful people are the ones who are curious, reflective, and coachable. Until next time, stay humble, stay hungry, and stay coachable.